Good evening, guys. This side Rahul Magan here as a Group Chief Executive Officer, Treasury Consulting, and also a venture capitalist. Standing today on 5th September 2020, I am once again making a very interesting video wherein I would like to bring something into public domain that A plus B plus C is not equals to D. My trust on the media and the banking system has already been lost. In fact, effective 2014-15, I started believing that the bankers are the most idiotic community we have in the globe. I have hardly seen any banker came in public domain and advising people, helping people and putting a question on status quo. Rather, nowadays I am finding too often that bankers community are promoting status quo. Whether this status quo holding any relevance or not, that is completely indifferent to them. In this regard, today I am going to be presenting a very technical topic, and this topic can only help traders, bankers, or the young guns, those who really wish to learn something different in the banking. And as usual, I strongly believe that Reserve Bank of India needs upgradation in his knowledge, because without upgradation in the knowledge, I really do not know where are we heading. I collated data of the last few days about a relevant topic called interest rate in Indian economy, and I got diversified information which are not telling with each other, at least to me. And we also need to appreciate one thing, that Indian banks are not exception as far as the frauds are concerned. Rather, I would say those who criticize US banks for 2008, they should first look at Indian banks after 2012. The total quantum of frauds done by Indian bank after 2010, if I get the list, then rest you know. There is a lot of talk which is happening in the system nowadays that Reserve Bank of India in their upcoming monetary policy would cut the rate by at least 25 to 50 bips. Because the purpose of that cut would be to stimulate the economy. I really do not know the meaning of stimulate the economy, because that word is now getting fancy across the globe. Like French president came and said that he is pushing 100 billion euro into the system. I really doubt from where 100 billion euro will come. Donald Trump is consistently pushing that he is willing to pump 2 trillion into the system. And I really do not know from where this 2 trillion will come actually. So across the globe, stimulus is a very fancy word. And different people are having different perceptions about Chinese coronavirus. Like Donald Trump clearly said that on or before 1st November 2020, the vaccine would be ready. That too in the public domain. I don't know, Donald Trump got a call from COVID-19 himself that the vaccine would be ready. Because even the best pharmaceutical companies, best medical advisors are saying that the final version of the vaccine is not expected before December 2021. And that too probably all the human trials will happen in a very rightful manner. But he's saying that vaccine would be ready on or before 1st November 2021. The pain because of Chinese coronavirus is definitely there in the economy. An Indian rating agency CRISIL also confirmed some numbers that in case the moratorium and this much quantum of the companies may be near to default, or there is a severe stress pertaining to non-performing asset into the system. Although different reports across India are referring to different numbers as far as the NPA is there, but I strongly feel that this number is completely understated in nature because this should be computed using ECL, expected credit losses. So, in our finance, there is a word called QSD, quality spread differential, which in big business schools is taught as credit spread. So, quality spread differential is Switzerland, and credit spread is a beautiful village in any part of the globe. Comparing Switzerland with any beautiful village in any part of the globe is disrespecting Switzerland. So this is the difference between quality spread differential and credit spread. I'm sure that 99% of the people, those who are watching this video, they even do not know the exact formula of the quality spread differential. And I would like to link three things, A, B, and C. So let's start with A. We had a chat about a little chat yesterday on this. According to media, short-term borrowing cost falls below overnight repo rate. Food Corporation of India is set to raise 75,000 crores at 4.69%. Good. Which is less than the 3 months MCLR. 3 months MCLR is somewhere between 6.65 to 7.1%. And we all understand that how much debt the Food Corporation of India already having as of now. Irrespective of that, Grasim Industries said on Wednesday that 3 months commercial paper at 3.30%, way below the overnight rate of 4%. Godrej Industries raised money for the same maturity, which is 3 months commercial paper, is around 3.37%, around 7 bips more than the Grasim. While Tata Power raised around 3.47%, which is 17 bips more than the Grasim and 10 bips more than the Godrej. Amongst NBFC, HDFC raised around 37,000 crores bonds with a face value of 10 rupee each, maturing 2023 at 5.40%. SBI also raised around 9,000 crore at 6.80%. If I go with these numbers, that is pushing me to convince that the interest rates are actually declining in India. But the problem is that whenever we take funding from the market, the element is a benchmark rate, which could be MIBOR. First of all, India is having severe problem in benchmark because OIS curve is not liquid and INR benchmark curve is obsolete. So benchmark rate plus QSD. Let me repeat few names again. Food Corporation of India, Grasim, Tata Power, Godrej. I really don't think any one of them is a debt-free company. Any one of them. Getting commercial paper at 3.3%, which a huge debt in the books, is clearly specifying that the banking sector is taking QSD-free calls. Quality spread differential free calls means that if I am giving funding to you, even knowing that you have a huge debt in the books and I'm not charging the so-called credit spread as per the B schools, then I am doing the biggest mistake in my balance sheet because the mark-to-market loss will come in my books. I'm sure that 90% of you even do not know that how to compute mark-to-market on INR denominated loans. So the lender is in India, borrower is in India, the funding happened in Indian rupee using Indian benchmark rate, how to compute the mark-to-market. If I read this news carefully, this reminds me one thing, that is India is heading to QSD-free funding structure? And if this is happening, then this is the biggest mistake the banking system is doing. It is like, I really do not know, maybe 10 years ago, 15 years ago, but as and when the banking system in India started lending without looking at the authenticity of the borrower, the end result is India is having more than 13 lakh crores of non-performing asset, and today non-performing asset is a major issue for banks. Agree or disagree, that's a separate thing. If that level of funding is happening, then this clearly specifies that it is QSD zero funding. And QSD zero funding is nothing but playing with fundamentals. That's it. But do not expect Hindi media that and the 5-7 faces that come in the business channel that they even dare to talk about QSD for two reasons. Number one, they even do not know the meaning of QSD. And number two, linking this report with the QSD is basically requires a huge skill set. So that's a first issue which the banking system is facing. Another issue banking system is facing that published on 1st September is basically the RBI benchmark on dollar bond issuance. Today also our euphoria is created in the public domain that the foreign exchange reserve rised by around between 3 to 4 billion dollars. But no one talks about foreign liabilities. No one talks about that because media is completely instructed not to talk about foreign FX liability. And most of the people, those who are watching this video to now or maybe later on, they themselves do not know how to compute FX liability. And I have already made a video that the more dollar funding will happen in India, the more FX liability will grow, and at the end result, net international investment position would be negative, which was negative, which is negative, and would continue to be negative. Standing today, the ECB guideline is that issuer cannot pay LIBOR plus 450 basis point. Come on, guys. From where did this 450 basis point came? The first question is, after COVID-19, many Indian companies lost credit rating. Thousands of companies got degraded. Then is that 450 bips is anywhere relevant? Like, I don't understand. One side RBI is saying that we let Indian rupee decide by the market. We will not intervene. Okay, I take your point. Then why do you intervene in the ECB market? Why did you put a cap of L plus 450 bips? Which formula told this 450? Which economist computed this 450? That's the main point. And another very, very important point which I really would like to highlight is the L piece, LIBOR piece. LIBOR is dismantled worldwide several months ago, and the whole banking system of the globe is moving towards SOFR, Caron, and respective rates, 9 risk-free rates, shortly known as 9 RFR, and more RFR is joining. It is just like the world is transitioning from any X company mobile phone to Apple, and some country is consistently having a regulation that you would continue to have X mobile phone irrespective of the fact that Apple is much better than that product. And I'm sure that 99% of the so-called treasurers of Indian companies themselves do not know that now the world has moved to SOFR. So till what extent that cap which has been put on the bond issuance is applicable? That's the basic question. But no one is there to talk about that. No one even know about that. No one even know that this is a sense of urgency. That's more important. In every monetary policy, the whole paid, sold, and incompetent media focus on the repo rate, but no one focus that the LPs should be shifted to RFRs. No one. That's another point. Number 3 is the probable repo rate cut by RBI. Indian rupee carry trade is already finished because of consistent cut in the repo rates. If RBI cut repo rate again by between 25 to 50 bips, then it is an end of story for Indian carry trade. A carry trade between Indian rupee and US dollars, Japanese yen to INR. I hope that the young guns and the old guns will take some time and try and link these three things. Number 1, how can a short-term borrowing rate at 3.3% when the company having huge debt? Does that mean that the QSD element is 0? And if QSD element is 0, then it is nothing but the biggest disaster we are creating in the banking system. I'm not worried about what this media is publishing, because media do not know that there is a company who is competent enough to analyze that thing. So if Indian banks have decided to go ahead with QSD-free scenario, then I think RBI should come in the picture and explain why. Number 2, the bond cap of L plus 450 is completely irrelevant for 2 reasons. Number 1, from where did the 450 came? Number 2, even though the Einstein, Edison, Newton, Graham Bell, Galileo together made this 450 as a formula, then this is not applicable today because of COVID-19. COVID-19 changed the dynamics of the whole globe. From airlines till the big banks, the dynamics has changed. So this 450 is completely irrelevant now. Let it be market dependent or market dynamics, just like US. Did we have any such limitations in US? Do we have any such limitations in any other country of the globe? In US, market decide what is your QSD. Federal Reserve never interfere. Federal Reserve never said that this is going to be your QSD. Federal Reserve always said, hey, let the market decide what is your QSD. Why do I codify something that this has to be your QSD? This is completely unethical. And very important thing, the LPs. LIBOR is phased out long ago, guys. So having LIBOR now is, I really do not know. And very important thing is the probable cut in the repo rate, which is not only disastrous to the carry trade, who is almost, and that trade is more or less already finished, but it is disastrous to the mutual fund industry, because if RBI cut the rate now, then mutual fund industry rate will go below or closer to 4%. And I'm not be surprised that if after 6 months the mutual fund debt schemes will generate almost 1% arbitrage than the FD. And guys, if this happens probably in December or next year, then what I can see is a sheer reverse bit from mutual fund to FD. Because if the FD is giving me between 3.5 to 4% and the mutual fund is giving me 4.5%, then except few people like us, those who trust mutual fund, 99% people will take their money away from mutual fund. And this creates a huge redemption pressure in the industry, which is not good for the asset pricing. Cutting rate may be a flash in a pan, but if this happens, then it is a big negative news for the mutual fund industry. But I'm sure that once RBI cut the rate, the 7 or 8 people, those who come in all business channels, they will say master strong, because they're being told to say this. That is the problem. And next day, Indian media will be full of RBI master stroke. But no one bothered that this so-called master stroke may trigger reverse movement between mutual fund to FD, which is disastrous for AMC industry, in at least in India. This is about 3 things which I wanted to discuss as far as the Indian financial system is having. The C category people will definitely be offended, I'm sure. Please be offended. If you feel bad, please feel bad, because I would like to tell you that more such videos are coming. This is Rahul Magan from Treasury Consulting. You know our WhatsApp 9818485155. And I would like to conclude my video with my beautiful sentence nowadays. Reading business newspaper few years ago was about gaining knowledge, but now it is losing knowledge. Have a great time. Keep watching Hindi media, because Hindi media is working very hard to, have a good time.